Hello, my name is Nana and I've been a knitter for, 2 years now. And I was thinking how to pass on some of my knowledge and experience. And I thought pattern reviews would be good because that's what I was looking for when I was trying to find my way into knitting. Because the number of patterns out there is just overwhelming. And yeah, I think it's super important to decide for a pattern that you are happy in the end with because, firstly, knitting is expensive, yarn is expensive, and obviously, it's a lot of time that you put into it, a lot of time and effort. And yeah, it's just nice when you end up with a piece that you really love and that you wear for a long time. I'll talk in this video about the pattern, the yarn, the knitting process, and the overall look and wear after a year of wearing the sweater actually. So let's have a look into my wardrobe with which one to start. And let's start with the Louvre Sweater by PetiteKnit. The sweater is a top-down raglan sweater with a mock neck and a thin raglan line. The armholes are quite wide and the overall fit is boxy. It's meant to be a bit oversized. According to the pattern, it should have a positive ease of 20 centimeters. And I have knit size S. But I also didn't hit gauge. The gauge is 20 stitches per 10 centimeters and I did 19 stitches. So my knitting would turn out a bit larger anyway. What I very much love about this pattern is the long ribbing at the hem and at the cuffs. I think that's very lovely and elegant and I like it a lot. The only modification I did to the pattern is the bind-off. The pattern calls for an Italian bind-off and at that time I wasn't really fluent in the Italian bind-off. And I did the so-called Ruke bind-off. I can link it down below. I think it's a super nice replacement. It's also a sewn bind-off and also very stretchy. And it also looks neat. And especially with dark yarn, I don't think you can see the difference. But the cast-on, that was an Italian cast-on, which I absolutely do not recommend for beginners. It also took me several attempts to get it right. And maybe I will make a video how to circumvent that and find another solution. But the Italian cast-on is a nightmare to start with. Yeah, let's talk about the knitting process. So you knit on 4mm needles. That means there is a bit of knit work to be done, but it's totally doable. You work from the top downwards to the bottom, and the rows are getting longer until you reach what I call peak knit. And that's the longest row before you part into body and sleeves. I don't think there has been a term for it in the knitting world. I like to use the term peak knit because it describes how the ascent to this longest row can feel. It can feel either fun and bouncy, like for example in colorwork sweaters, and it can look like this, attention, creepy AI pic incoming, or it can feel like this. Yeah, but the repetitive stockinette stitch is also quite meditative and it's totally fine. It depends on your state of mind in the moment when you knit the sweater. And I'm sure a lot of people, including myself, also often love to just knit rows after rows. Let's talk about the yarn, which also plays into the knitting experience. I used the recommended Peer Gynt by Sandnes yarn. I also chose the dark grey color 1088 as the designer for her sample piece. And I absolutely love the Peer Gynt. I think I would call it a no bullshit yarn because it really holds shape and it wears nicely. It's certainly not one of the softest yarns. Sandnes calls it crisp on their website, and I think that's pretty accurate. So also when you pick up your knit work, it feels not soft. And also the color bleeds a bit. So I had dirty hands after knitting and I thought like, why is the water so brown? And it was like, the yarn is bleeding. But nevertheless, this after washing also fades and I can also wear it on like bare arms and neck. That's totally fine. Okay, let's summarize what we've talked so far about. The pattern is easy to follow with a bit of a challenging cast on. The knitting process is meditative and the yarn feels a bit crisp and might bleed a bit of color, so it's not like your heart will sing when you pick up your knitwork. However, the yarn, which is a woolly matte yarn, so it's not shiny, it will unfold its beauty with wearing. Speaking of wearing, let me give you my opinion after 1 year of having this sweater. Pilling. So after wearing it a lot, this is really everything of pilling that there is. I've never shaved this sweater and I think that's totally okay. Here you can see it a bit better with a lighter background. Because on a dark yarn you also don't see these small pilling things so much, but for me that's totally okay. I'm happy with it. I think that's for a woolly yarn, it's okay. I know this might be a silly argument, but what I learned to appreciate about this sweater is that I can push up the sleeves and they stay where they are, which is extremely handy during normal tasks. So would I knit it again, or are there any regrets? First of all, I think it turned out exactly like on the pictures, and I wanted to have like a staple piece with a neutral color that I can combine with different clothes. And my biggest regret is, however, the color. And although I've worn it a lot, something more fun would have been better for me, because I still cannot combine it as effortlessly as I thought. So I need to put some thinking into the outfit. And I like to combine it with all in gray or all in black. I think that looks cool and I would walk around town like this. But something more fun, I don't know, even a brown I think would have been better for me, but nevertheless, I still love it, and it's a clean, classic pattern that you can also modify. For example, if you would take a more fluffy yarn, the look would be completely different, or you could include stripes or whatever. So I think to have this in your pattern library would be good, and you would get a lot out of it. So I hope this video helped you to get a better idea of what this sweater looks like in real life, what it feels like and how it wears. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, or let me know also if you would like to have more in-depth information. Thanks, bye.